everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, my name is Griselda and welcome to my YouTube family. So as you can see, I only have my foundation on and my eyes done. I didn't do my full face because in today's video I am going to be doing a comparison between the Creaseless concealer and the Shapetape concealer by Tarte. I recently got a PR package from them with their new packaging for their Creaseless concealer. I don't believe they changed the formula or extended the shades because I think they did have 30 shades before. Don't quote me on that, but the Creaseless concealer does come in 30 shades, and this is what the package looks like. And it also comes with a concealer brush, but personally I like to use a beauty blender just because I find that these brushes are a little hard to just distribute the product evenly, and I end up going in with a beauty blender anyways to just smooth out any harsh lines, so on and so forth. I haven't used the Creaseless concealer in a very long time. I used to actually use that in my makeup kit when I used to do makeup. I used to use that concealer for mostly all the makeup applications, especially for brides, because I loved the way that it just wore throughout the day and it just wouldn't crease. I would still set the concealer just to secure the wearability of the concealer itself. It does state that it is a Creaseless concealer, but I would always set it, so I'm gonna also set it today. So I got sent 3 shades in the Creaseless concealer in the full-size container. I got sent medium golden, and tan. I'm probably gonna be using medium and medium golden to just see how the colors are, but we'll see what the difference is, if I like it. If I'm gonna be subbing the Shapetape concealer for the Creaseless concealer, we're gonna find out. It says it's a vegan full coverage creamy skincare concealer. It comes in 30 shades. It's a new applicator to make application total foolproof. It completely covers dark circles, hyperpigmentation, redness, pimples, and tattoos. Waterproof formula, doesn't crease or sit in fine lines. Flower powered by vitamin C rich maracuja for firmer, brighter, and smoother looking skin. Moving on to the Shapetape concealer, it says here it's America's #1 concealer, vegan super blendable formula that instantly helps brighten, smooth, and shape the look of your skin. Full coverage with flawless matte finish, conceals on imperfections, and doubles as a concealer highlight product. Creamy, easy to blend formula, won't flake or crease, nourishes with mango seed and shea butter, helps illuminate skin for a lifted effect. As you guys know, I love the Shapetape concealer. I have 4 shades here that I usually go for depending on the look that I'm going for. If I'm just trying to cover up pigmentation, if I'm trying to highlight, if I'm trying to brighten, it just depends on what look I'm going for that I use these 4 shades. So I have tan, medium, light neutral, and light medium. Depending on also how tan I am or how fair I am, I go based on that with the Shapetape concealer. It definitely does everything it speaks on the website. I'm going to be using the shade light medium in the Shapetape concealer on my left side so you guys can see how it brightens and it covers. I usually like to start in the inner corner. As you guys can see, it is pretty light, but it does cover. And I love the applicator to the Shapetape concealer because when you take it out, you have sufficient product on both ends. You can flip the wand over and then just apply a little bit more if you need it, so you don't have to keep double dipping. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out with my beauty blender. Blend out a lot easier and smoother. But as you can see, it definitely gives you like a really nice full coverage, and it definitely brightens at the same time. And I do love the fact that the Shapetape concealer does give you room to just kind of let the product settle into the skin, and you're still able to move it around with the beauty blender so it doesn't dry down too quick. I forgot to mention that the Shapetape concealer does retail for $27 and the Creaseless concealer retails for $26. We're gonna be using the shade medium golden on the right side. This is what the applicator looks like. We're gonna go ahead and apply that in the inner corner. So just applying the product, I can already tell that it's still the same formula. It hasn't changed. It always looked really shiny when I would apply it on, and actually I really like this color. I love how the applicator just glides on the product. It definitely glides it on super smoothly. I don't feel like it is streaky. I love the color. So I'm using medium golden. I definitely love the color. I can see the difference. This one's definitely a little lighter. I'm gonna go in with another beauty blender. I'm not gonna use that same one, and I'm just gonna blend that out. I feel like a lot of people would probably won't like to just leave it like that. I feel like you're gonna want to set this concealer because it does look super shiny. I mean, I wouldn't mind if that's the look that I'm going for, but I definitely like a more mattifying under eye. And I put a generous amount because I wanted to see how it was gonna be able to blend out. I love how full coverage it is. I don't see any fine lines. I forgot how good this Creaseless concealer is. Love the color. I love how it brightened but also covered my under eyes. I'm just kind of letting it sit before I set my under eyes because I want to see if it does dry down a little bit more. As you guys saw, the Shapetape concealer automatically just dried down. It's super matte. I can leave it like that, or I can also set it, which I'm gonna do as well, but I want to set both of them at the same time. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes. I'm gonna highlight the rest of my face using both concealers so you guys can see the difference. So now we're gonna set both concealers, and I'm using the translucent powder by Laura Mercier, and I'm just gonna press it in my under eye, and I'm not doing anything different. I'm using the same technique that I use as if I was just using my regular concealer. I feel like you definitely have to let it dry down just a little bit, because if you don't and then you put a generous amount, it might leave a line, because here I feel like it didn't fully dry down, and I do have like a little line here where the concealer was still wet, but overall here it looks really nice and smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and set my other side. So while that settles in, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my skin, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. I went ahead and finished the rest of my face. I'm back to give you guys my final thoughts and my opinions on the Shapetape concealer and the Creaseless concealer. As I mentioned to you guys before, the Creaseless concealer is not a new product. It's just a revamp of their packaging. You guys know how much I love my Shapetape concealer. This is forever gonna be like my go-to concealer. I do have other concealers that I gravitate towards too, but this is probably like my #1 concealer. Going back to the Creaseless concealer, I personally love the new packaging. I love the applicator. I love how easy it was able to just distribute the product. I didn't have an issue of the amount of product that was coming out of the wand. It gave me just enough where I was able to just control whether I wanted more or less. I'm happy that they were able to like revamp it, because the other one was in a squeezy tube, and sometimes you would squeeze too much out and it was really hard to put it back in. I think they both are great concealers. I feel like the Shapetape concealer is just that perfect concealer where it gives you the coverage. The formula is super easy to blend. This one, you definitely have to wait for it to dry before you set it, because I had like a little line here where I still had some product that didn't fully dry down. So I was able to blend it out, but with the Shapetape concealer, you don't have to do that. As far as like how it feels on my skin, the only thing that I personally don't like about the Creaseless concealer is when you apply it, it does feel super thick, but once you're able to blend it out, it doesn't feel that way. I don't feel it thick under my eyes. I feel like it's super lightweight. It doesn't look heavy under my eyes. It doesn't look like it's creasing. The same thing goes for the Shapetape concealer. The only difference is that the Shapetape concealer, I personally find that is just super smooth. It's super easy to blend out. Even if you look at it, you won't be able to tell which one's which. I feel like this one is just a little bit brighter than this one. I did use a brighter concealer on the Shapetape concealer. This one was just a perfect shade for like your everyday, for my shade. I use a golden tan in the Creaseless concealer and the light medium in the Shapetape concealer. I forgot how much I did like the Creaseless concealer. It does give me a really nice coverage. The only thing was the consistency once you're applying the product, and the amount of time that you have to wait for it to dry down. And I definitely give it a thumbs up. Shapetape concealer is probably still going to be my #1, but I'm not going to knock down the Creaseless concealer. Those are my final thoughts in comparing the Shapetape concealer and the Creaseless concealer. I hope you guys really like this video. Let me know if you have tried the Creaseless concealer, if you like it, which one you like more, the Creaseless concealer or you like the Shapetape concealer. I would love to know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.